Hello everybody and welcome back to the Big 6 lesson conclusion. Mrs. Lund is back here to review the Big 6 research method with you guys. Remember, this is the method we are using with our science research project. Again, our class objectives are students will learn the 6 steps of the Big 6 research model. Students will be able to identify the steps of the Big 6 research model, and students will apply their knowledge of the Big 6 research model to their research project. All right, so I have provided you guys with a handout that kind of gives you a little bit of an overview of the Big 6. Now, we can get the handout one by just scrolling here. I do have it embedded into this presentation, but you also have a link here to go to see the handout if you would like to have it more larger on your screen. So just go ahead and going over it here. We have these Big 6 steps. We also have what kind of tasks go with them and what kind of questions you should be asking yourselves during those steps. Sometimes it's easier if we ask ourselves questions to help us kind of focus in on what we want to do. I also have resources for you to use while you're using the Big 6 for your science research project. On one side, we have videos. I have the Big 6 research process video, which is just an overview of what the Big 6 is in case you forgot. I do have also 3 different videos that break down each step into, it covers 2 steps per video. And then I also have a how to evaluate sources for reliability video. This is a really important one. Remember, this had about 2 of our standards that we were going to cover were about evaluating our sources to make sure that they are relevant, that they're accurate, that they're non-biased. So this is kind of a really big piece that we want to know. We want to make sure that our sources are good sources for what we're doing. On the other side, I have tools for us to use. Evaluate your resource checklist. Again, this is evaluating resources. We said that this was important, making sure that it's reliable, non-biased, that type of thing. Research source sheet worksheet. This is just a worksheet that you guys can use to help keep track of all the different sources that you are using for your project. Remember, we do want to cite our sources. We want to give credit where credit is due. So you have to collect information from your source so you can do that. This worksheet is there to help you guys out. And then the checklist for assignment. This is once you are done with your project, look through this checklist and make sure, did you hit all the pieces? Okay, did you make sure that you met all the requirements? Are you happy with your project? That type of thing. All right. So going over the Big 6 here, we have step 1, which is task definition. Okay, this is where we're trying to figure out, what is my teacher asking me to do? What information do I need to complete the project? These types of questions are going to help you identify what you need to complete your project. Okay? So if ours is about science, past research and how it has impacted current day, you could ask what kind of research has happened in the past, how do we still use this type of research, that type of thing. Okay? Information seeking strategies. This one is just thinking about, where can I get this information from? Okay? Think of where you could get your information from for your project. You're not actually going and getting the information during this step. You're just thinking, okay, can I use the library, the school? Is there somebody I can talk to? Do my parents know? Does my teacher know? Is there a textbook about this? These types of things will just kind of help you organize. That way, when you ask the next question of what makes a source of information better than another, you won't end up with a list of sources that maybe are not as strong as others. You can kind of weed them through and you're not wasting your time going and gathering all these things that you might not need. Step 3, location and access. So this is when you're actually finding your sources, okay? You're physically going or intellectually going and getting your sources. physically might be going to the library to pick up a book. You might physically go to somebody to interview them. Intellectually, this is more like online type stuff. So maybe you are finding the research online, digitally. Who can I ask to help me find my resources? You have people all around you that can help. Hint, hint, me. Also, your teacher can help you find resources that you can use for these projects. Okay? Step 4 is use of information. So you are with the information is in front of you. At this point, you are going to read, you're going to listen, you're going to watch, you're going to interact and interview and all these things with your source, okay? And you're gathering your information. How helpful is the information I'm finding? Okay, we're gonna pause right here for a second. Yes, the Big 6 is a series of steps. However, problem solving is not what we call linear, okay? Sometimes you might have to go back to a previous step, right? If you ask yourself, how helpful is the information I'm finding, and you're not finding very good information or helpful information, you might have to go back to a previous step, maybe 2 or 3, to get different resources so that you have the correct information or relevant information. Okay, so this process does not go straight through the line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So back to step 4. What information about the source do you need to give the original author credit? Remember, we do want to cite our sources, and we do need to collect that type of information. And how will you keep track of your sources? Again, remember that I have provided you guys with a worksheet on your handout that helps you with that keeping track part. Step 5, synthesis. Synthesis is a fancy word that means to put together. So you're putting all of these different pieces of information that you have gathered together into one project. How can I organize the information I have gathered? Are you going to organize it in a paper? Are you going to make a model? How does it all fit together? How will I present the information I learned? Again, are you making a model? Are you going to draw a picture? Are you going to write an essay? These are things that we need to decide during this step. How are you going to put everything together? And finally, step 6, evaluation. When you evaluate, you want to evaluate 2 different things, your effectiveness and your efficiency. Your effectiveness is you're evaluating your product, okay? Does your product meet your teacher's requirements? Did you check for grammatical errors and mistakes? Are you proud of your work? Efficiency is your evaluation or your judgment of how the process went. Was it an easy project for you? Was the Big 6 helpful for you? Did you get lost during it? Those types of questions. How might you change your approach to a project now that you've gone through this one? That is evaluation on your efficiency. Okay? So with those 6 steps, we have the Big 6. Once again, the Big 6 contains steps to help us break down problem solving into smaller, easier to manage tasks. The Big 6 helps us to focus on requirements for the project. And one really important part is remember that problem solving is not linear. Sometimes you might need to revisit a step, and that is okay. As you guys work on your science research project, please remember that I am here if you guys have any questions, as well as your science teachers as well. Good luck!